A Meditative Way of Life. By Ami Ra, Wise. Forward, by Ta Wa, See Wise. This is a Wise Values publication. Wise Values is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, focused on addressing health disparities, food insecurity, and environmental injustice. Learn more at wisenpo.org. Chapter 7. Spiritual Retreating.
Within modern society, our lives can easily become inundated with the stresses and worries surrounding securing our survival. The social pressures push fear-based programming that can potentially cause us to hustle and bustle throughout our day under the drag of our anxieties. Often, even as hard as we struggle, we still find ourselves behind, in debt, and far from our goals to acquire wealth. We must remember that slavery is the founding method of maintaining a labor force that churns industry forward. While we may no longer have shackles and a physical whip spurring us in action, those mechanisms have taken different forms. The monthly bills and the threat of losing everything nags at us. The fear of losing our job or being laid off causes us to pretend good behavior. We struggle and sacrifice because insecure economic sources are key to survival in the competitive and ever-shifting society. The truth is, we are sacred spiritual beings with a divine purpose and a higher responsibility that far exceeds perpetuating capitalism and economic exploitation. As we acknowledge our sacredness and align with our divine purpose, the universe paves a way for our holistic success as manifestors of righteous human civilization. We must remember that everything that is in existence pushing and shoving you into compliance was developed as a product of abusive thoughts, attitudes, and behaviors by fellow human beings. We also must not ignore the corruption that existed within those thoughts, attitudes, and behaviors. Also, let us connect the dots between those founding patriarchal forces and today's massive array of destruction, disease, and devastation. Through fear-based programming, our energy and time is sold to maintain the very system that is destroying humanity and endangering life on this planet. Somehow, the threat of losing material security and comfort has caused many of us to idolize an exploitative and destructive force and exalt this force as the ruler over our survival, livelihood, and happiness. We often forget that we are exalting fellow human beings as rulers over our lives, who created an unjust and unrighteous system to dominate and control humanity. Just as this destructive system was developed and is perpetually maintained, so too can we develop and maintain a holistic system, founded upon righteous principles, operated by love instead of fear. We can build a system that supports life in a harmonious way. Manifesting earthly paradise upon our planet is our greatest responsibility. However, how do we go from being totally invested in spending our hours focused on making money to spending our time manifesting a holistic way of life? And how do we contribute positively to the advancement of humanity? Clearly, the system is rigged so that everything we need costs money. How do we change that paradigm? When we work for the betterment of humanity, when we work for the cleanup of the planet, when we work to bring solutions to address poor health outcomes, poverty, and social abuse. We are no longer a part of a capitalist system because we are no longer seeking to capitalize off the destruction and exploitation of humans, plants, animals, and natural resources. When we transform our objectives, we are able to liberate ourselves, and we are no longer a slave to our lowest desires. This journey begins with a decision and proceeds with gradual divestments from selfishness. We change from being individuals who are willing to get what we want at the expense of all others. This journey leads to a consciousness that causes our actions to be based upon a deep care and concern for the entire ecosystem which we are a part. With our change in objectives, we lose the desire to position ourselves in the midst of social happenings to posture and pretend. We are no longer interested in keeping up with trends and being fashionable. Instead, we develop an increasing desire to retreat from the social world to cultivate a soul connection. Our transition into a holistic way of life is not an extreme reaction that triggers us to just drop everything and run to the nearest hideout offering freedom from society. Nor is this transition based upon boycotting and refusing to work or engage in any other function that has supported your livelihood. Transitioning to a holistic way of life, with a focus on contributing to the positive advancement of humanity, must begin with acknowledging and accepting who and where you are. This acceptance is not from a place of guilt, shame, and regret. It is from a place of love, gratitude, and forgiveness. This is the starting point of whole life change. The first things that transform are our agendas, our sense of purpose, and our goals. Then, our wants, desires, and interests change. And we begin to give thought to things we never considered, such as our physical health, nutrition, and the quality of our interactions with our loved ones. Now we are learning how not to be driven by anxieties, worries, desperation, and fear. This is different from redirecting our stress to a better cause and redirecting our fears to a focus on doom and gloom. Operating from these frequencies reap negativity and disease regardless of the reason we choose to function in this way. Our pathway towards holistic health is founded upon inner peace, whole life love, and acceptance. From here, we are naturally guided from within towards whole life liberation. We will gain the freedom to be happy and fulfilled. Wherever you are, whatever your station in life, you can begin this journey without undermining your stability and security. You can begin this journey without rejecting yourself, admonishing others, or attacking anything deemed wrong. You can start this journey without joining any groups or making extreme lifestyle changes. Spiritual growth is gradual. Holistic change makes sense, is reassuring, and feels good. On this journey, we take steps when we are ready, which is based on an inner knowing and reckoning.